Alright, good evening everyone. Hello for today's new lesson, live class for intermediate students. Our lesson today is going to be about what you should do in a right way, or let's say in other words, etiquettes, the etiquettes, social rules, okay? The things you should do in the right way, in the right place, at the right time, okay? Let me fix something here. I need to see you all. Hello Zahra, Bella, welcome to the live class. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. So we shall, God willing, try to look at how we visit a school in California and get tips on personal appearance, introductions, dining, and dating. But can David, our presenter, put into practice what he was or what he has learned? So as a grammar, we'll focus on present simple tense, mainly on question forms, interrogative form. And in vocabulary, by the end of this live class, you should be able to know or to have learned words related to friends and relationships, personal information. Okay, let's not waste time and begin. Alright, here I have questions about different questions, and you need to choose the ones which go with school. Let me explain. Mark what people learn at school of etiquette. As I said, etiquette are rules, morals, ethics. Then put the words in order to make 4 questions. Okay. Now, among these etiquettes, which one you think are taught at school of etiquette? Choose 4. I guess 4. Yes. I give you 2 minutes to read silently. What did you choose? Hello, Yusra, welcome. I give you homework to do. Exercise to do. So, what do you think at School of Etiquette people learn? How to make friends? How to behave at a party? What clothes to wear for special occasions? Maybe, yes. How to eat food? I think so. How to earn money? How to fight? Give me two more sentences. How to make friends, maybe. No, this is not correct. Good evening, Sarah. How to earn money? No. How to fight? No. How to behave at a party? Yes. Now, these are the things that School of Etiquette, School of Teaching Morals, Teaching Attitudes, Teaching Behavior, Comportement, teach. They teach you how to behave in fait. How to make friends is not correct. Yes, number 2, how to behave at a party, what clothes to wear. Great. Okay, now, as we have chosen the right sentences, now let's put the words here to make 4 questions about these etiquettes. For example, how do you introduce yourself? Alright? Yes. Good, Sarah. 3 and 4. Good. Now, what about these questions? Try to put them in the right order. I'll give you 1 minute. Alright, time is up. You all have already given me question number 2. When does a man wear a tie? Good, Katie. Good, Zahra. Good, Sarah. No, Sarah, when does a man wear a tie? Yes, you, Sarah. Okay? When we have questions, we use WH word first, then auxiliary do, then the subject, then the verb. Alright, so when does a woman wear a dress? Une robe. Good. And last one. Good, Yusra. And the last sentence. Yes, exactly, Sarah. You're right. When does a woman wear a dress? Good. A woman with an in the end. Because women with en, that's the plural. We don't use a. So when does a woman wear a dress? When does a woman wear a dress? And last one. Is it difficult? We begin with WH word plus do plus the verb. So WH word plus do plus subject plus the verb. Can you find it? I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me, guys? Hello, Umayma. I think you had a problem. Okay. Maybe because it's Sunday, it's so slow. Okay, so you are right. Last question is, when do you kiss someone? When do you? Yes, good. Now let's hear this questions, I guess, with answers. It's about the school of etiquette, a school which teaches you how to do the right thing. All right, let's go.
Saying the right thing, wearing the right clothes, they're not easy. In fact, knowing what to do is difficult sometimes. How do you introduce yourself? When does a man wear a tie? When does a woman wear a dress? When do you kiss someone?
As you can see, your questions are all right. Good. Let's move on. Here I need you to watch and listen to another video. Okay? After that, complete the sentences from this frame, from this group of questions. Hello, continue. David Trisdale, I think. Hi. Alright, you have 4 questions to fill in. So watch, then you fill in. Are you ready? Let's go.
I'm David Drysdale. Pleased to meet you. How do you do? I'm David. Hi, how you doing? Hello. How do you do? I'm David. Saying the right thing, wearing the right clothes, they're not easy. In fact, knowing what to do is difficult sometimes. Do you introduce yourself? When does a man wear a tie? When does a woman wear a dress? When do you kiss someone? I'm David Drysdale. Pleased to meet you. How do you do? I'm David. Hi, how you doing? Hello. How do you do? I'm David. Saying the right thing, wearing the right clothes, they're not easy. In fact, knowing what to do is difficult sometimes. How do you introduce yourself? When does a man wear a tie? When does a woman wear a dress? When do you kiss someone?
Now, can you, after we have watched, complete the sentences? Let me give you 3 minutes, then we correct. Yes, number 2 is finished. Okay. What about the rest?
I'm David Drysdale. Pleased to meet you. How do you do? I'm David. Hi, how you doing? Hello. How do you do? I'm David. Saying the right thing, wearing the right clothes, they're not easy. In fact, knowing what to do is difficult sometimes. When does a man wear a tie? When does a woman wear a dress? When do you kiss someone?
Yes, very good, Katie. You found the third one. What about the rest? How are you? Good. Yes, Zahra and Katie. How are you doing? Good. And first one?
I'm David Drysdale. Pleased to meet you. How do you do? I'm David. Hi, how you doing? Hello. How do you do? I'm David. Saying the right thing, wearing the right clothes, they're not easy. In fact, knowing what to do is difficult.
What do you think of the first one? Hello, how do you? I think so. I'm not sure. How do you do? Hello, how do you do? I'm David? Is it I'm David? Not sure. Check. Yes, exactly. Okay. Good. So these are expressions of greeting expressions you can use when you introduce yourself. Good. Let's carry on. So now here I need you to watch and listen, mark the correct answers and fill in the missing letters. We will finish missing letters later. Now just focus here. When you meet someone, they judge you in the first 3 seconds. What things do they notice about you? Now, suppose you meet someone for the first time. Okay, there are things that that person notices about you for 3 seconds. What are they? So listen and choose the right things, the right noticeable things. Let's go.
The 4 topics that we're going to talk about today.
This is Martha Wharton. She teaches etiquette in California.
Do you know that you are judged in the first 3 seconds by the way that you are dressed, by your facial expressions, and then what you say? With your personal appearance, it's the smile. When you start smiling at someone, they're not afraid to talk to you. So the smile's number one. And then the clothing. Don't wear anything that is dirty or that isn't appropriate for that occasion.
Let's repeat for the second time.
The 4 topics that we're going to talk about today.
This
are
is Martha
personal
Wharton.
appearance and why that is
She
important.
teaches etiquette in California.
Do you know that you are judged in the first 3 seconds by the way that you are dressed, and then what you say? With your personal appearance, it's the smile. When you start smiling at someone, they're not afraid to talk to you. So the smile's number one. And then the clothing. Don't wear anything that is dirty or that isn't appropriate for that occasion.
So what do you think? 1 to 6. The way you are dressed, expressions, and number 6, what you say. What your job is, where you come from, how big your family is, are not included. Good. Now you listen again, okay, and mark your correct answers and fill in the missing letters here. Let's make the first reading. When you start at someone, they are not. This is a verb. This is adjective. To talk to. So the name number 1, and then the don't wear anything that is adjective or isn't for that occasion. So Zahra thinks smiling. You're right. What else? What else? Do you need another listening? Okay, let's do it.
The 4 topics that we're going to talk about today.
This
are
is Martha
personal
Wharton.
appearance and why that is
She
important.
teaches etiquette in California.
Do you know that you are judged in the first 3 seconds by the way that you are dressed, by your facial expressions, and then what you say? With your personal appearance, it's the smile. When you start smiling at someone, they're not afraid to talk to you. So the smile's number one. And then the clothing. Don't wear anything that is dirty or that isn't appropriate for that occasion.
What do you think? When you start smiling at someone, they're not. Yes, clothing is correct. Help you here. Free. Yes, dirty. Yes, Amina. Dirty.
The 4 topics that we're going to talk about today.
This is
are
Martha
personal
Wharton.
appearance and why that is
She
important.
Sorry.
The 4 topics that we're going to talk about today.
This
are
is Martha
personal
Wharton.
appearance and why that is
She
important.
teaches etiquette in California.
Do you know that you are judged in the first 3 seconds by the way that you are dressed, by your facial expressions, and then what you say? With your personal appearance, it's the smile. When you start smiling at someone, they're not afraid to talk to you. So the smile's number one. And then the clothing. Don't wear anything that is dirty or that isn't appropriate for that occasion.
I mean, this is appropriate, good. It's not appropriate. Good. What about this one and second one? Afraid. Okay, خايف. And good. Smiling or smiles. Smiles number one. This is apostrophe S. Mind you, this is apostrophe. Yes, this is apostrophe S. Let me make it bigger. See here? So the smiles number one. Okay. Yes, apostrophe S. Very nice. Okay, that was lesson of etiquette. Now I will let you watch the whole video. Let's go.
The four topics that we're going to talk about today.
This
are
is Martha
personal
Wharton.
appearance and why that is
She
important.
teaches etiquette in California.
Do you know that you are judged in the first 3 seconds by the way that you are dressed, by your facial expressions, and then what you say? With your personal appearance, it's the smile. When you start smiling at someone, they're not afraid to talk to you. So the smile's number one. And then the clothing. Don't wear anything that is dirty or that isn't appropriate for that occasion.
Right. Good. Now, lesson of etiquette number 2. Watch and listen. Put the expressions in order. Okay? Then mark the correct answer. Here are some things people do when they introduce themselves. Extend your hand. Say hello. Give your first name. Give your last name. Smile. So you need to put expressions in the right order. Okay, are you ready to do this? Okay, so let's watch and answer. Let's go.
It is often difficult to introduce yourself. The simplest way to introduce yourself is to smile, extend your hand, and say hello, and give your first name and your last name. I want to show you the proper way of shaking hands. It's with the thumb up, right hands, and when you shake hands, it's web to web. This is called the web of your hand, and it's web to web. With the eye contact, you look the other person with your smile. Your response is, nice to meet you.
Do you think you can put it in the right order? What's the first step? So, according to Amina, number 5 is number 1. To smile. Yes. Correct. Alright. Number 1. Extend your hand. Number 2. Say hello. Give your first name and give your last name. Let's check it. Let's check it.
It is often difficult to introduce yourself. The simplest way to introduce yourself is to smile, extend your hand, and say hello, and give your first name and your last name.
Very good. Excellent, Amina, Zahra, and Katie. Good. Now, what I need you to do is, which is the correct way to shake hands? shaking hands. Saluer avec les mains. 1, 2, or 3. Listen again and give me the correct way to shake hands. Maybe it should be one of the 3. Okay? Let's go.
It is often difficult to introduce yourself. The simplest way to introduce yourself is to smile, extend your hand, and say hello, and give your first name and your last name. I want to show you the proper way of shaking hands. It's with the thumb up, right hands, and when you shake hands, it's web to web. This is called the web of your hand, and it's web to web. With the eye contact, you look the other person right in the eye with your smile. Your response is, nice to meet you.
I think it's clear enough. Do you have any answer? What's the best way to shake hands? Yes, very good. Great. To shake hands web to web. You know, with your thumbs up. Le pouce. Tala le pouce. Make eye contact. Look at their eyes with the other person, of course, and smile. Very good, girls. Very good, ladies. Alright. Now let's continue. This is dining etiquettes. Rules of having dinner, I guess, in a restaurant or a dinner party. Yes. Having or going to a dinner party. So watch and listen, mark the correct answers. The first question: a couple, which means 2 people in a relationship, goes to a dinner party. Where does the woman sit? On the right or opposite the partner, which means in front of her partner or his partner? And what's the correct way to eat soup? To move the spoon straight to your mouth, move the spoon away from you, then up, move the spoon towards you, then up. Can you guess before you watch the video? Can you answer these questions? Let me give you 1 minute. Let me see. Do you agree on one? This is on the right. Katie says on the left. And for... Okay. I'm not sure whether the other numbers are for this activity. Anyway, I've got on the right Amina's answer. Katie's on the left. And Katie thinks that the correct way to eat soup, move the spoon towards you, then up. Then up. Zahra says the opposite. As well as Alawi Kautar. Okay. Let's see who had the right guess. Are you ready to listen? Let's go.
Don'ts of dining. Please come to the table with your hands washed. Sit up nice and straight when you are at the table. Gentlemen, if you're going to a dinner party, seat the lady on your right. When you eat your soup, it is away from you and then up. Away from you and up.
Amina is right. The woman sits on the right. Okay, and move the spoon away from you, then up. Who said 3? Zahra, Katie. Okay, very good. No, wait. Away, sorry, number 2. It's number 2. Away from you, then up. Okay, good, Alawi, Katie. So I think, yes, exactly, that's it. Okay. Now, does David do the right things? We are going to listen and watch. In what order do David's mistakes appear in the video? He made mistakes. How many mistakes? 3 mistakes. Okay. Which one comes first? Which one comes second? Which one comes third? Let's read. We have the same choice. David's clothes are not suitable for going to a cheap restaurant. David eats soup with his knife and fork and moves the spoon towards him. David introduces himself in the wrong situation. Okay, you just need to watch and classify, put these in the right order. Which one is number 1, which one is number 2, okay? Okay, let's do this. So what does David do here in the picture? Yes, good, Amina and Katie. What does he do here? Yes, and last one is David introduces himself. Very good. Now, number 1, Kauta says, is David introduced himself in the wrong way. Is this number 1? What do you think? Which one is number 1? Number 3. Do you think so? David was home first. Okay. Then he went to the restaurant. He met the waiter. He sat in the table. Number 1 is this. David's clothes are not suitable for going to a cheap restaurant. Number 2 is David introduces himself in the wrong way, in the wrong situation. And 3 is when David starts eating soup with his knife and fork. Do you agree? Okay, you see? At the beginning, they show you his clothes. Okay? Here, what happens here? He wanted to shake hands with the waiter, but that was a wrong situation. You don't shake hands with waiters. Okay? And last situation is eating soup in a wrong way. Okay? We carry on with this video lesson of today. Now, true or false? What is Martha's advice about when you'd like to ask someone out on a first date? You know, this is teenager stuff, you understand? When boys and girls date each other. Okay, so you just choose true or false. To get to know a person first, then to go on a date. What is Martha's advice? Her advice. If you don't know a person, ask him or her out to go on a fun date with a group of your friends. Date first, then get to know the person. Ask someone out alone. We have more sentences. Okay, let's focus on these sentences, then we move to the next exercise. Are you ready? I hope so. Let's go.
Well, what would be the proper way to ask a girl out on a date?
Well, that's difficult. Often it's best if you know them first. Ask them to go on a fun date with you or where there are other people.
If someone asks me out on a date, how do I say no politely?
I think the answer to that is you thank him for the date and then just tell him that you're not available.
Would you like to have dinner with me?
Sorry, I'm not available.
The last scene was just for fun, alright? Now, according to what you've seen on the video, is the first statement true or false? To get to know a person first, then to go on a date. What about this piece of advice? According to Martha, is it true or false? Number 2, is it true or false? Number 3, is it true or false? And number 4, I repeat. So, Amina says, good Amina, I'll give you me quick answers. First one is false. Why would you say false, Amina? It's true. You need to know the person first, then ask him or her for a date. To go on a date. On a date, sorry. And the second one is, if you don't know a person, ask him or her to go. Yes, true. 3, go on a date first, then get to know the person. What do you think? Ask someone out alone. What do you think? No, this is false. Ask someone alone. It's also false. She said you need to know the person first. Go on a date, on a fun date, and with other people, which means not alone, okay, and not with any stranger. You need to know the person. So let's repeat and check.
Well, what would be the proper way to ask a girl out on a date?
Well, that's difficult. Often it's best if you know them first. Ask them to go.
It's better if you know them first. This answers the first piece of advice. Know the person first, then go on a date.
With you, or where there are other people.
If someone asks me out on a date, how do I say no politely?
I think the answer to that is you.
Okay, there's something interesting that Marta said here. Let me repeat it.
It's best if you know them first. Ask them to go on a fun date with you, or where there are other people.
If someone asks me out on a date,
To go on a fun or with other people, which means not alone, okay? And of course, you can't go on a date first, then get to know the person. You need to know the person first. This is according to American etiquettes in California, okay? Good. Now, there is something interesting in her lesson. Someone asks you out on a date. If you follow Marta's advice, how do you say no politely? You don't want to be with that person. You don't want to engage with that person. How can you politely say no? You say you don't want to go. You thank for the invitation and tell that you're not available. You say you have different plans. You say that you have no time. Watch again and answer.
Well, what would be the proper way to ask a girl out on a date?
Well, that's difficult. Often it's best if you know them first. Ask them to go on a fun date with you, or where there are other people.
if someone asks me out on a date, how do I say no politely?
I think the answer to that is you thank him for the date and then just tell him that you're not available.
Would you like to have dinner with me?
Sorry, I'm not available.
Okay, Katie and Kauta says false for number 1. Very good. Let's say true for number 2. Good. False for number 3. Good. You say you have different plans. Do you agree? So you say false. Yes, it's false. Good. And number 4 is false. See that you have no time. It's false. Very good. So the best way is to thank the person and say you're not available. Number 4 is not true, is false, Katie. Number 4 is false. You say you have no time. No, you say I'm not available. Okay? You say you have no time. Good, because you have no time, it means you are not available. Okay? But our answers are correct. We have 100% correct answers. Let's move to okay. So we have correct answers. Very good. Okay. Now we finished with the video lesson. Now I'd like you to I want to begin with you lesson number 3 or unit number 3. It's about verb to be and have got, has got. Okay, we'll do some 2 activities, then we finish. Alright. I know that today you are just for students live. Alright. Anyway, we'll try to continue. Now, behind the door, talking about places. Fill in the blanks here according to the pictures. A hotel lobby, a hospital, classroom, garden, bookshop, hotel bedroom, office, swimming pool. What's behind the door? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a derrière la porte? Alright, what do you think? Number 1 is, number 2, number 3. Can you give me answers? Good, Zahra. Hotel lobby. Next. Lobby, un grand couloir, okay? Number 3 is a classroom. And this one? Hotel bedroom, very good. Why? Because we have a number of the floor, number of the door, floor and door. Good. Or girls, we have girls here. Good. Now, behind the door, grammar. Let's take a look at grammar. Okay, time to explain. Okay, there is, there are. Okay, there is for singular, there are. We use there is or there isn't before singular nouns. You say, for example, there is 1 student present today. There is only 1 student. Okay? There isn't any boy participating today on this live class. There isn't any boy. There are 4 participants today. There are 4 participants on this live class today. Okay, there aren't any boys. So after there is or there is, we use before singular. There are, there aren't, we use before plural nouns. Before plural nouns, we often use some, any. Like I said, there aren't any boys. Okay, there are some girls tonight. Okay, a TV in the room. There are some chairs. There aren't any flowers in the room. So when we use plural, when it is affirmative, we use some. It's negative, we use any. Okay. Yes, no questions. Is there a TV in the room? Are there any chairs? Is there a? Are there any? Okay. So let me leave you with this exercise. Try to choose the right verb, are or is. Let's go. Amina, you have almost correct answers. Zahra, pay attention for number 3. We have a teacher's desk. So there is a teacher's desk by the window. The room has got a blackboard because one room, okay? And the room has got a thick carpet, okay? Yes, so there are pictures هنالك صور on the wall على الحائط ولا في الحائط. There is an ashtray on the desk. Ashtray, we use it for cigarettes, for ashes, to put ashes on it. That's the ashtray. Okay. There is teacher's desk by the window. هنالك مكتبة الأستاذ والأستاذة قرب النافذة. There is a phone on the desk. There is a laptop, a computer. Okay. And the room has got a blackboard. The room has got a thick carpet. Okay. I forgot to show you something here. Of course, there are. When you say there is, there replaces it, it is. And there are, it's like there replaces they. But there are means هنالك, il y a. Il y en a. Alright. Just pay attention when we use there is plus singular. There aren't plus plural. Before plural nouns we use some, which means between there are and the noun we use some. For example, there are some chairs in the room. There are some chairs in the room. Like in number 1 we could say there are some pictures on the wall. Okay. There aren't any flowers. When you use negative we use any. There aren't any. Okay. There aren't any pictures on the wall. Okay. And with questions, is there a TV in the room? Is there? Where do we get is there? We get is there from there is. We inverse is and there to be and there. It gives, is there a TV? Is there a cup of water in the kitchen? Okay. Is there a boy here live? No. There aren't any boys. Okay. There aren't any boys. Or are there any? Are there any boys? Is there a boy? Are there any boys in the room? Okay. Whereas have got and has got is has. Okay. Have got is have. The house has got a large kitchen, a big kitchen. The house has got 3 bedrooms. Okay. So the room has got a balcony. The room hasn't got a balcony. The rooms now, plural, have got balconies. The rooms haven't got balconies. For yes, no questions. Has the room got a balcony? Have the rooms got balconies? We can restate this differently. We can, instead of saying has the room got a balcony, we can say does the room have a balcony. This is American. Okay. English, in British way, you say does the room have a balcony. American, has the room got a balcony. We use get instead of have. Okay. Just remember it this way. We have got, has got in American. Okay. Do the rooms have balconies or verandas? Okay, I think that's it for today. Next time, God willing, we continue talking about places and focusing more on have got, has got, there is, there are. So thank you very much and see you soon, inshallah, evening.
llega al casinero de un pase magistral.